Hey guys, welcome back to the AutoHound, and today we are reviewing my 1,300 mile Ford Maverick. I was going to do it at 1,000 miles, but you know, life gets in the way and doing other cars as well. So this particular model is the XLT with the FX4 off-road package and the 4K package as well, so I can tow up to 4,000 pounds. A couple of things that I've done. Number one is I've actually added these really cool stickers on the back from BD Trim. BD Trim, you can find them on Amazon and in the link below. I've also added the tonneau cover. The tonneau cover has actually increased my gas mileage up to 25 miles per gallon. On the other Maverick that I had, it was not the FX4 package, so it didn't have the expanded gears like the FX4 does, so this gets a little bit less gas mileage, but it's certainly just a little bit more off-road capable. The things that I love about the outside of the truck, it looks like, well, a tuxedo. It has the black on the bottom, the black appearance package on the mirrors, so I like the look of it. It looks really cool, and outside of the truck has not disappointed me, with the exception of one spot, which I'm going to show you right now. Do you notice anything missing here? That is where the keypad was on my last car. Why did they take away the 5-digit keypad? Doesn't make any sense to me at all. So that's the one outside thing that I don't like about the car. Other than that, I love the exterior of the car. There's one other little thing I want to show you here. And I'm going to open the hood for it so you can see right through. And it's an interesting little feature, because if you didn't buy the Lariat package, you didn't get this feature. Or non-feature, I guess. Looking straight through here, you could see daylight. Why should you be able to see daylight? Well, because they didn't put the interior insulation in on these particular vehicles. They only put it on the Lariat package. So I looked at the Ford dealership online, and it's $40 per side. So for 40 bucks a side, I'm going to put them in, so this way I can eliminate some of the wind noise that this truck gets. That's one of my driving complaints, but we'll get into that in a second. So the car has 1,400 miles on it, 1,408 actually, and this one, again, the XL and the XLT package do not come with the push button start, which is right here on the Lariat. However, you get the key. So it's cheap, it's effective, it works. So I guess that's really all that matters. Well, like I said, it's 1,400 miles on the car. It's not bad. I like the interior of the car and the layout. A couple of things that I'm aggravated with Ford is the drive modes. Ford, you have the FX4 package, but you can't have economy mode and you can't have sport mode unless you use an outside source called Forescan to add those in, which I'm not going to do because that will void the warranty. So down here you could press your auto off button, which I think is the worst feature of any car, because that creates scoring inside your cylinder wall. So anybody that thinks that they're saving the planet and saving gas, you're actually ruining your car. So what I mean is, down here you got this little button, and this little button right here, this changes your modes. So you could go from normal mode to tow haul to slippery to mud and ruts to sand, back to normal mode. There should be 2 more modes in here, but these other modes, when I had my last Maverick, did not exist. I had the tow and haul mode, and I had the slippery mode, but it didn't have the mud and ruts, and it didn't have the sand mode. It had Eco and Sport, and I thought Eco and Sport was really cool. So I think that they should have that on all the cars. It's enabled in the software. So all you got to do is go in and change the software, and you'll have all 7 modes as opposed to the 5 modes. So I think Ford kind of messed up on that one, in my personal opinion. The other thing where they messed up is this section right here, the infotainment screen. The infotainment screen is plenty active. It works just fine. You know, it's instantaneous. There's no change of anything. Not a problem. But what the issue for me is the cubby hole. Why didn't you make this a bigger screen? Is it for cost savings alone? Because that's just kind of silly. I got my phone up here for a reason, because I get phone calls just like everybody else does. And rather than have my phone way down here, I would prefer it either here, where if they created some type of magnet for it, that I don't have to buy an aftermarket accessory, or put a cubby in there that someone made out of 3D printed plastic. I would like to just see it more well laid out or thoughtful, where it was a bigger entertainment unit. It makes more sense to me. Otherwise, the car is in really good design shape, and I like all of the little orange accents. A lot of people don't, but I like them. I think that they're cool. Moving forward, let's get on the road. This car has just over 250 horsepower, so it moves out quite nicely. It's a, obviously a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, and it's peppy. It's got some good torque to it. It's not a world beater, but it's definitely comfortable. I guess the big knock on the Maverick is that the hybrid model, which gets 40 odd miles per gallon, doesn't come in all-wheel drive, and it should. However, next year Ford is solving that with the Ford Maverick Lightning. Yes, you heard it here first. They're going to have all-electric Lightning, and it's going to be all-wheel drive. Should be interesting. I don't know if a lot of people are going to buy it. I don't know if Ford should continue to invest in the electric market. You can see this car gets a little bit bumpy. That's why my voice is kind of going up and down, but I mean, bumpy in a truck is okay. It still drives like a car for the most part. I think that there are some things in this car that just make sense. It's spacious and roomy. It doesn't feel claustrophobic, which is great. And the other thing is it corners exceptionally well. There's not a lot of body roll. So taking this corner quite quickly for this, and there's no body roll. And that's a nice feature to have. You have some confidence in the car itself, knowing that you're not going to have to worry about body rollers, getting around corners and losing the back end, or any kind of understeer, so that you feel like your car's kind of plowing as opposed to just pushing in. And, let's kind of just give it a little speed test here. It moves right out. And with it moving out like it does, you're not having to say, oh my God, there's too much power, but there's really enough power to get you out of trouble. So I really like the Maverick. My issues were, of course, with the exterior, that little situation with the insulation, and of course the infotainment screen and the drive modes. But other than that, the Maverick has been a great car. My last one lasted just about 10,000 miles before it met with an unfortunate demise, and leading me to a new Maverick, which is this one. I like the color of this one a little bit better than the previous one. The last one was carbonized gray, which is a nice color, but it was a real bear to keep it clean, or at least clean looking. At least with the white car, it does kind of hide some of the issues with dirt. The other thing with this car that I really love is that it's compact enough to get in and out of the city, no problem. You could drive it anywhere, you could park it anywhere, and nobody is the wiser that it is really as big as it is. It has that extra storage space underneath the back seat. I got the tonneau cover, which definitely improves gas mileage, and we'll talk about that. Right now I'm averaging 25.1 miles per gallon, which I think is pretty good for a compact pickup truck. Years ago, these were, 16 miles per gallon in compact pickup trucks because they had bigger engines and whatnot. These high-performing engines, high-revving engines, certainly don't have those issues with them. The other area of kind of enjoyment that I get is the visual cues here. You don't get any blind spots, and with no blind spots you don't have to worry about where the cars are coming from, because you can just see everything. It's a nice open cabin. It's really easy to see out the front windows and the side windows and the back windows, so it definitely promotes some positivity when you feel like you're driving a truck, but it's not a truck. Other thing that this does that no other car does is it's a great Home Depot getter. I've already used it at Home Depot a bunch. I live in the Northeast, so I had to go buy a bunch of rock salt, and I bought 400 pounds of rock salt, threw it right in the back with its 1,500 pound cargo capacity, wasn't even touching it, and it handles Home Depot runs with no problem. If you're a handyman, this is a great truck. If you're a construction guy, it's not. A construction guy, you need that bigger bed because you got, bigger levels and more tools and whatnot to carry around. I don't carry tools around. I don't do handyman work. But if you were a handyman, this is a great truck to use. And you can even extend the bed out, and right on top of the wheel wells in the back, you could put a 4x8 piece of plywood with a couple of tie downs, and it will stay there just perfectly. My last Maverick, I tested that theory, and I was able to carry multiple pieces of wood from Home Depot to my home with no problem at all. Cornering, again, is really nice. It's amazing. There's no understeer, there's no oversteer. It feels pretty darn good. But it also has some really good acceleration. And I love the acceleration because it gets you out of trouble pretty quickly, but it's not going to put you into too much trouble. Sliding around corners, you're not going to feel that. Handles very nicely. And, I think the biggest thing with the Maverick is the value proposition. This car is $23,000 to start, and they go all the way up to about $40,000 without the all crazy ADMUs, adjusted dealer markups that are happening, and those are starting to go away because these are becoming a little bit more available. And I got this one right at sticker price, and eventually they're going to be a bargain. And I think in the next couple of years you'll start to see these as being, kind of kick around cars. People are going to say, oh, this is a great little second car to have, or it might be a good college student car because your college kid isn't going to be driving around at 100 miles an hour. Yes, you could fit a bunch of your friends in the car, but it certainly isn't a issue as far as speed goes. It's not a speed demon. It gets up to speed nicely, but it doesn't kind of push that limit of getting over speed. And I think that that's important as well, these safety features. So if you like this type of content, please make sure you like, you comment, and subscribe. And remember, it's about the drive.